Have you ever felt invisible? The sun burned white-hot over Beverly Hills, baking the sidewalks until they shimmered like mirages. Outdoor cafes lined the boulevard, filled with people who never had to wonder where their next meal would come from. Laughter clinked against wine glasses, forks scraped plates clean, leftovers tossed aside without a second thought. And then there was Nia, 19 years old, barefoot, her dark skin streaked with dust, her too thin frame struggling under the weight of her swollen belly. She wasn't loud, wasn't aggressive, just a whisper in the wind. "Please," she murmured to a woman in pearls. "Just a bite. Anything." The woman recoiled like Nia had asked for her wallet instead of her scraps. No one looked at her. Not really. Until table 6. Daniel Carter, sharp suit, sharper reputation, was halfway through a meal that cost more than Nia's last paycheck. When her trembling voice cut through his business call, he barely glanced up. "I'm in a meeting," he snapped. But then, she touched her stomach. Something in Daniel stopped. Maybe it was the way her hands cradled her belly like it was the only thing holding her together. Maybe it was the way her collarbones jutted out, her lips cracked from dehydration. Or maybe it was the memory, his memory, of another pregnant woman years ago, smiling at him in a sunlit hospital room. A woman he'd buried. The waiter moved to shove Nia away. "Wait." Daniel stood. The entire restaurant froze as he shrugged off his jacket, a $5,000 jacket, and draped it over Nia's shaking shoulders. "Eat," he said, pushing his untouched plate toward her. And as Nia took her first bite, the dam broke. Tears streamed down her face. I just wanted something for my baby." The crowd murmured. Someone's phone camera flashed. A woman sneered, "Gold digger." Daniel didn't even look at them. He pulled out his phone, dialed his driver, and said 2 words that would change everything. "We're leaving. What if your greatest pain became someone else's hope?" The clinic was quiet. No paperwork. No waiting. Just white walls and hushed voices as doctors examined Nia. "Your baby's alive," the nurse said gently. "But you're both starving." Nia's hands trembled as the ultrasound speaker crackled to life. A heartbeat, faint but fighting. A sob. Daniel, leaning against the doorframe, looked away. He hadn't heard that sound in years. Not since her. Flashback. "We're having a girl," Amelia had laughed, pressing his hand to her belly. The next day, the car crash stole her. Stole their daughter. Stole the future he'd dreamed of. Now, watching Nia cling to the sound of her own baby's heartbeat, Daniel felt something crack open inside him. "Where have you been sleeping?" he asked roughly. Nia hesitated. "An alley. Behind the church." His jaw tightened. The world had failed her. Just like it had failed Amelia. But this time he could do something. "You're coming with me," he said. Nia flinched. "Why? Why are you doing this?" Daniel didn't answer. "Not yet. Kindness isn't a grand gesture. It's a choice, one that echoes forever." The guest house on Daniel's estate was small, warm. For the first time in months, Nia slept in a bed. Weeks passed. Prenatal vitamins. Fresh clothes. A nurse who checked on her without judgment. And then Aisha. Born healthy. Born loved. The night Nia brought her home, Daniel stood on the porch, staring at the stars. "You never answered my question," Nia said softly. "Why did you help me?" Daniel exhaled. "Because once, someone I loved needed help too. And I couldn't save her." Nia's eyes filled. "You saved us." He shook his head. "You saved yourself. I just handed you the rope." And that's when Nia understood. Kindness wasn't about playing hero. It was about seeing someone. Really seeing them. Months later, Nia stood in a community center, baby Aisha on her hip, speaking to a room of young mothers. "I used to beg for scraps," she said. "Now I help run this place. If you're out there fighting alone, keep going. Someone will see you." In the back, Daniel smiled. Because that's the thing about kindness. It never ends with one act. Ripples. And sometimes, just sometimes, it heals the giver as much as the receiver.